Hello, lovely queens. All right, today's video is going to be talking about how to actually date as a single mom. So we know that there are challenges when it comes to dating as a single mom and dating again as a single parent. You have to really build your confidence. And for the women, building in your queen energy, and for the man, really making sure that he has a healed masculinity for whatever it is that he's been through. But you don't have to shrink to be loved again. So I just want to give you a couple of tips, and it's not going to take very long, but really how to date with confidence as a single mom. And first and foremost, it may seem like it goes without saying, but too often, I just had this conversation with a gentleman on yesterday, was a lot of parents, two-parent home or one-parent home, say, oh, I can't do that because I have children. Oh, I can't make that happen because I have children. And I read a really great book years ago, about 8-9 years before I became a mother. And a dear friend of mine recommended it to me to read. And it's called Raising Up Bebe. And it's by a French author. What she talks about is that in her upbringing and in the people that she, adulted with, their lives didn't change when the babies came. The babies, the kids, the toddlers, the teenagers, they adapted to whatever the parents and the adults were doing versus the parents saying, okay, my whole life has to shut down and change for the children. So all of that to say, date. You're a single parent, whether divorced or just a single parent, date. Your soul deserves that companionship. It deserves to be around adults. It deserves to have that fun, to have that engagement with other adults that tickle your fancy. So I say that's step number one. Be open, have the mindfulness of yourself to know that you should date. You deserve it. It's mentally healthy for you to do it. It's physically healthy. It helps with the endorphins. It helps with the oxytocin to be around people. And also, it will help you to determine what your standards are, right? So when you go on these dates, really reflect. I would say it would be a great practice to journal after each date. And I'm going to incorporate this for myself, to journal after each date and find out what you liked, what you didn't like. So then you'll have a running record, if you will, of your standards. And that would be step number one. So, step number two, I would say, would make sure that you have boundaries. Make sure that you have boundaries and that you have the wherewithal and the confidence and the assertiveness to keep those boundaries no matter what. That keeps you safe. That keeps your inner child safe. That keeps your children safe. That keeps your future safe. Versus you shrinking to be something that you're not in order to be in a relationship with somebody that really is not hitting all of the things that you want. And I remember when I got back out into the dating scene, a cousin of mine sent me something in a DM, and, it was like, this is what I expect when I go out to date. And it was like, the likes of Morris Chestnut, who's an actor, Idris Elba, who's an actor, and they're these dreamy men in Hollywood who are always dressed to the nines whenever we see them, right? And then she said, but what she actually sees are these dusties that have on like these, $20 suits and, they're just, gold teeth and all this other crazy stuff. And so my response to her was like, girl, I hear you, but it's really about positioning, how you position yourself, where you position yourself, who's in the environment where you positioned yourself. Not to say that that's what she was always doing, but first and foremost is mindset. What kind of mindset do you have? What am I attracting? Who do I want to attract? If you don't believe in those things and practice them on a regular basis, then you might attract some of any and everything. But if you go out with intention and lead with intention, then you will get what your intentionality will bring back to you. And I believe in that. Biblically, spiritually, metaphysically, all of it. All goes back to the Bible. And lastly is to use your voice. Use your voice with soft, feminine power, ladies. And men, when you use your voice, when you go to her, be gentle and loving and kind. But ladies, especially focusing in on you, use that soft, feminine power. Are there queens who probably could be a massive bitch? Probably. But in order to rule a country with the likes of so many people on staff, with the likes of so many people in your family, with the likes of, dealing with chancellors in other countries and all of that, you really can't be like a raging bitch, you have to have poise. You have to have diplomacy. Aristocrats have to know how to interact with other people and be politically correct to an extent. Now, can they be snotty and snobby and do things, undercutting? I'm sure. But the point is, lead with your soft power. Lead with your voice. Have your voice and have your opinion without rolling your neck and getting in somebody's face and doing all of this. Okay? So lean into that. Those are your tips for the evening. And I hope that they will help you. Like and subscribe for more, and check out the workshop upcoming soon. All right. Bye for now.